Hey guys, this is Josh Keys from Lacuna, and I'm going to show you how to play some of the parts from Turbid C. Alright, first part, I'm gonna put up pictures of the tabs each time so that I don't have to explain to you which frets to hold and stuff like that. I will show you what to do with your right hand because I do some interesting stuff that I learned from some of the ways that John Mayer played and stuff on a lot of his acoustic songs and stuff like that. Most important thing that I can show you is how I fingered things in this song in particular. First thing I do is I use my thumb to hold down the G on the E string. So 3rd fret, hold it down with your thumb. That's what I do. And then I have the freedom to do anything that I really want to do with the rest of my fingers. So the first thing you do is just pluck that G, and then I got 2 3rd frets on the D and G strings held down by my first finger that's barred. And just pull off from that, so you go, and then I slap with my thumb to get that percussive noise. So on each upbeat I'm slapping, so it ends up sounding like this. After that you go up to the 5th, and I use my ring finger for that, and still just pull off, and then come straight back down to the 3s. So you go. The biggest thing here that is probably the hardest part of adding the percussive slap to this whole part is slapping when you actually have to play notes. The first slap's pretty easy because you're not playing any notes. The second one gets a little tougher because you're trying to play the 5th frets on the D and G strings at the same time. So what I do there, flick out and slap down, flick and slap, flick and slap, flick and slap, kind of ends up going like this. See what I'm saying? It takes a lot of practice. You really have to get your little flicks. They're very subtle. You really just kind of flick and slap, flick and slap, flick out a little bit as you come down with your hand. And it ends up being a lot more of a subtle movement, and you really have to practice it to get accurate. I know you guys can do it, and it's super fun when you can, because you can basically be your own little drummer. Once you got that down, you can start doing a little bit extra stuff. Stuff like that. Super fun. Alright, next part, the chorus. So what I ended up doing was I muted the D string the whole way through, and then I kept flicking it throughout the whole progression. So still sitting on the G with your thumb, and then you flick the D muted string and go straight to the 5s on the G and B strings, and then bounce back and forth between the muted string and your next stuff. So what you do is you go, it helps it feel like more full. Just give you a better close-up look of what my right hand's doing. And I think you might notice too that I kind of lean back with my wrist, and I lean back on my first string. It's just another one of those little subtle things you can do to have more control over the music that you're making. I messed up right there, but that's okay. It's funny how songs get harder when you have to slow them down. Once again, I mute everything. And then just go on to the next verse, and you'll be good. The bridge is a lot easier than the rest of it. First chord, D7, skip your E string, 5-7, 5-7, and then mute at your last E. And then just strum it. Get it going. Again, head down to C7. Right back to that first riff. Certainly add new stuff. And get back in that strum. Alright. One thing that I like to do when I play this song all by myself is I've actually taken to playing the chords up here. That D7. I'm sure that's C7. The second time around, I like to go and just walk down. And that's the bridge. I mean, the bridge is super easy. Go back to the first little riff. Can't see the way. And just start fading myself out and bringing my dynamics down. And that just means being careful with how much pressure you use on your right hand to get stuff done. And then we're back to the chorus riff. Then I'd kind of break it up and just go and start embellishing. My favorite thing to do is improvise. Today it makes the music something today rather than just the same thing every single time. Your way, just a little bit different, just some extra subtlety that matters to you. You don't have to run all of your lines or your music around it, but I highly recommend doing it to a lot of it. It keeps it fresh, new, it expands your own mind, and it helps you be able to understand that music is a way of communicating your own thoughts. And I think that's one of the most magical things about music. Thanks for watching. I hope this has helped you understand how to play this Turbid C.